What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Change your identity to a winner. Now, I'm going to break down talking about scheduling and kind of resetting your year, resetting the year coming up. But before I do that, it burns my buns and I have to do it. I posted a post on the wall, and I knew y'all were going to be on that. I and it's very common in our community. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the community wall real quick because I'm gonna take a whole 5 minutes to dissect this because this is what I'm talking about. How to change your identity to a winner. This is one of the prime examples. And again, if you guys love that show with Diamond Dave today, drop one in the comments. Also, I always encourage you guys to use the links I provide on the channel. They help us do with tracking and numbers, but you guys know that. So anyways, long the story short, let me go on here and show you this. This is the community wall, okay? This is the community wall. This is what it looks like. This is where a lot of commentary and conversation is going on, okay? Again, we're talking about New York mayor. They cut that $350 a week food stamps. Listen, $350 a week, even though it's New York. Imagine how many weeks they've been here. They've been here for months, 6 months, 8 months. Honey, they should have deep freezers full of food at this point. Again, here's Diamond Dave's stock options. I can see via links, via all kind of stuff. If you guys have bought courses and checked on things, I can see that. So here we go. Let's go here, and I'm going to go over some of the comments. Crazy, everyone's talking about generational wealth. What do you think the older people were attempting to do when they left you them houses and y'all tore them up or lost them to taxes? Now, I want to be very clear. I've done a ton of videos on parents leaving houses behind, reading newspaper articles about like Clemson, South Carolina, right? You have one of the fastest growing colleges, Clemson. They're doing great in football. They're getting bigger and bigger in the news. They won a championship. There was a woman, left a house, didn't have to pay anything for it, been in it 15 years. You could look at the front yard. You could look at the condition of the yard. You can see the blinds were tore up, complaining about property taxes on a completely free house. And when I looked up the area's property taxes, I think maybe they were 1,500 to the max, maybe 2,000, which is rare in that part of South Carolina, very rare. So property taxes in most parts of South Carolina is $400. And in some areas I've seen, $5,000, but it's been like Charleston on the water with multimillionaire houses. Okay. And so when I hear the argument about taxes and there's not one person in charge, I think what happens is your parents failed in conflict resolution, right? And they failed to help teach you the long game. There is a property still sitting in our family. It sat empty for at least 10 years. And now it's being used again, right? Now, many people say, well, oh my God, Erica, what did y'all do during 10 years? Now, we have some family members who go, oh my God, y'all should be doing something with that property. Y'all should take care of that property. Do something with that property. Do something with that property. And I've laughed watching because I know it's a long game. When they need money, when they want to retire, when they want to get themselves together, they will do something with that property. In the meantime, what they doing? Paying taxes. A lot of people are not taught delayed gratification. They're not educated on the basics. I just saw Duru out of Charlotte. They finally got this deal done with this woman. They bought a house that she inherited, and after all was said and done, she was able to walk away with a $50,000 check. After all said and done, well, the title company tries to send it to her bank. It gets kicked back. They put the check out. They're like, hey, she has to pick this check up for us to get this title insurance and title to be done. Well, guess what? She don't have a bank. And he's freaking out because he's like, please, for the love of God, do not go to a check cashing place, which is going to, charge you 10% of that money. And this is where we talk about generational wealth. Like, if you're that down bad, you probably just need to live in an RV in the back of the house. If you're that daggone bad, you probably need to sleep on your car on the property. If you're down that bad, there's either some mental health issues or there's some other issues going on. And I'm going to read some of the comments here. And I know I said I'm going to take 5 minutes on this, but I find this to be so important because I think y'all think people give you unsecured cash money is an inheritance, and that is incorrect. That is incorrect on levels that are unknown. That's how short-term thinking most folks are, right? Let me go here. Let me gather myself before I get upset again. Let me get up. And this is the common answer, of course. That's not generational wealth. They just happen to have a house. That alone was a goal, nothing more. Take this house and some insurance money and get out of my face. I think that's funny. All right. The problem is leaving one asset to be divided by infinite number of heirs that grows each year. And the one without a pot to piss in is living in it or has papers on it. Not personal experience, but I have seen it to others. It would be good if the parents would leave something specific for each kid. Then they have to pass it down through their line. Leave the house to the one who can afford to maintain it and have insurance money to pay it off and some property taxes until death to discuss your wishes before you die. Now, here's the first thing. You're going to say, I want you to understand, as someone has a child, they're going to leave it to the child that has nothing. When my grandma passed, she left a property to a child out of all her daughters that had nothing. Okay. That got divorced, lived in an apartment and left this property. It blessed that person for a good 10 years. They got married, remarried, and that property just sat vacant for years. And we were like, yo, you got to do this. You got to make it make money. You got to get some income. You got to turn it around. You got to do this. You got all this land and this house. You got to do something. And that person was never motivated because now they have a husband and they were content with the new situation. Now they want to retire. Well, guess what they're doing? Cleaning up that property, cleaning up that house, figuring out what they need to do. They even attempted to say, well, I'll just sell it right now for cash. And we said, why would you do that when our family members can buy it from you because it's been sitting here? So 9 times out of 10, your parents are going to leave something to the child they feel doesn't have anything or are not in a good position in life. Okay. When all the other aunties are married and one is divorced, what's that your grandparents are going to say, let's leave them something. Right. So they have something. Now, 9 times out of 10, I know exactly what you're talking about. We have one family member, she inherited something from my grandma's second husband. And, grandma had more than one husband. So anyway, long story short, inherited something from her grandma's second husband. And I'm talking about massive amount of land and a house. And on the property, on the tax bill, it said his name and the heirs. Now, his siblings, who have not been around for decades, are like, hey, we also own this land. And what that particular aunt had to do was go downtown and say, no, look at my name on every tax bill, on every tax payment. I need this title reassessed with just my name on it. Now, not everybody knows how to do that. Not everybody's paying attention. And I get you guys' complaints. But 9 times out of 10, what I'm coming across is there is a lack of intention issue. Right. When we meet people that want to sell distressed land, distressed properties, 9 times out of 10, there's some issues there. Right. When you watch those videos on YouTube where the guys run around cutting grass, these aren't vacant houses. 9 times out of 10, there are people living in the house, trash in the house, front yards growing up to their kneecaps, and they're going in and out of the house like nothing's wrong. Like that's a mental health issue. There's a lady in my mom's neighborhood. I think her husband has died somehow in the military. And the other day, and I was like, what is going on with this lady? And last time I was here, I think I told you guys this. Her old parents who are look like they're 80 years old are out there cranking a lawnmower, trying to cut the front yard at least. And this woman's got semi-grown kids in there. Now there's depression, there's issues with health. But I think what happens is I'm just going to say it in a nice way. If the father or man in that family's life, that piece is removed, sometimes chaos emerges. Okay. Does that make sense what I'm saying to you guys? Like when the person that leads and structures the family disappears or dies or something traumatic happens, people get off track terribly. Right. I see the woman outside, her hair looked like a bee's nest. You know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of your comments are all going to be the same. It's like, oh, there's some good ones now. But a lot of folks are going to always say, well, that's not enough. Or, they turned grandma's house into a trap house, all this silly stuff. And I get it. I hear y'all. But at the end of the day, this shows the lack of financial education in a lot of communities that they don't understand. Like this right here asset can play out for the next 50 years if you guys play it right. I watch countless interviews in Austin where there'll be some Black family. There's a house in prime location, downtown Austin, and they're crying about property taxes. And there's 5 kids among them. There's 5 adults. Nobody wants to put any money into it. No one wants to physically go cut the grass and repair the home. And so you're looking at them like, well, maybe y'all should be poor. Maybe y'all should be in dire straits poverty because you can't even make a simple decision on a simple property. You lose people's sympathy. Right now, they've already said there's going to be another ice storm in Texas. And the first thing I typed in my comments on Facebook was like, I don't want to hear it. We've experienced this a couple years. If you don't have a generator, if you don't got a power bank, if you don't got food storage, if you don't got a 100-pound bag of rice, if you don't got a bunch of beans, we don't want to hear it. The only time we want to hear it is situations like North Carolina where there is a dam breaks and the dam floods the town and there's dead bodies in the water and there's lithium. It's some substance that get the lithium out the ground. It's also in the water, so it makes the water toxic. That's an emergency. It being cold outside and you didn't have your house prepared is not an emergency. It's not. And so this is where I want you to change your identity from a victim to a winner. Today, my mom went to get something from Bojangles. And, there was a lady getting taken to the ambulance, right? So my mom's talking to the staff and like, oh my God, that's terrible. And the girl's like, oh my God, I'm in so much anxiety because my car broke down on the work today. And my mom's like, think good thoughts. Oh my God. And then my grandpa's got cancer. She was like, think good thoughts. Then she went on to say something else. And I said, Mama, this is somebody who is mentally wanting you to go, oh, you poor thing. Your car, your grandpa. Oh, and you're at work and somebody not even near her, just a customer in the restaurant is having to go in the ambulance. Oh, you poor thing. Now, I've had moments in my life where I didn't identify as a winner. I've had moments in my life where I needed help. Oh, help me, somebody. I'm in a bad spot. And I remember somebody was helping me and they said, the reason I helped you, Erica, is because the tenacity that you keep going, that you keep filling your day with work. And at the time, I thought, what? And at the time, when they saw me working multiple jobs. They saw me applying myself to a higher paying job, trying to switch positions, grow and change. And I think what most people don't understand is when we talk about changing your identity to a winner, you can have a 2-year window. And I mean, I really want to go hard for a second. You can have a 4-month window and absolutely change your life. But y'all don't want to hear that. So let me spread it out. You can have a 2-year window or a 4-year window and have a completely different life. Or you can drag it out for 10 years. Aaron Cleary put a post up and I didn't get to watch it yet, but I laughed when he was like, oh, 10 men have a mandatory 10 years of hard labor. Every adult has mandatory 10 years of hard labor. I think people think because women have a baby, they get to take a break, and that's really not a break. Right. And I'm going to say something and you're like, Erica, you're very sexist. You're being a feminist, but I want you to hear this. When they say men have it harder, no one feels sorry for men. No one gives men a break. And you know what? They don't. And guess what? It ain't changing. It's not. It's really not. I was in New York with a group of guys, our guy friends on our business trip and our fun trip in New York we just went through. And we were walking down a dark alley in New York. And some Africans, yes, I'm going to go there. Some Africans came up alongside us, start talking with the thick accent. I'm like, oh my God, we about to get robbed. I'm like, don't talk to strangers. Keep walking. I'm panicking. I'm like freaking out. And one of the guys are like, oh my God, you act like my sister. Are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm a woman in New York walking down an alley, a dark alley. Random men are approaching us. I'm in ready to kick and fight mode. Keep walking and walk fast. We're not stopping. We're not talking to them. We're not dealing with them. And in a minute, you can see their face go, oh, yeah. Men walk around our society, and not that they're completely safe, but the average man can walk around on a dark alley at 1:00 in the morning, and nobody necessarily is going to bother him. Right now in London, you have 20,000 women this past year that have been, I'm going to say, sexually assaulted. That's the best way I can say it. And people are like, oh, don't blame the Muslims. Stop blaming the Muslims that are in New York and London. And I'm like, who else is doing it? Regular old London white men ain't running around and doing it. Like, what are you talking about? You have a class of culture coming through. And so what I want you to understand is I don't want women to walk around all day being victims per se, but I do want you to recognize and acknowledge you live in America where there's an opportunity here to change your identity. There's a great channel, and I forgot the name of it. I apologize. But the woman was basically saying she was homeless in London, and she had an opportunity to get a flight here to America. So she came and she overstayed her visa, and she started trucking. And the company was like, cool, we have a British chick. Put her in her truck. They let her get her CDL and all that stuff. And she started driving, and people thought, that's crazy. A British person driving a truck in America. And I said, do you not understand? Like, America's the one of the best places on earth to have a come up, to change your identity. To, some of y'all could be Uber and Door Dashing for a month, making $4,000 if you had to, and change your life. That's why when I showed y'all that video the other day of the black man and the white woman with 6 kids in a 1-bedroom apartment, they've been like that for 3 years. Oh, he works really hard. And I'm thinking, oh my God, he's in construction. He's a day laborer. He's doing something difficult. I mean, they are really stuck in their bad position. And they literally said he door dashes and Ubers. Man, if you don't shut the hell up, if you don't get out of here with that, when you know you can make $3 to $4,000 a month doing that, if you're really consistently driving, this is an identity issue. Now, there are some towns and some cities y'all are in, and it sucks. And I won't lie to you. Again, we talk about this often. There's 20 cities in the United States that make up 2/3 of the GDP. There's a reason I'm in Austin. There's a reason I stay in the tip of the spear. If I had to leave Austin, I'd probably go to Dallas next. If I couldn't go to Dallas, I'd do Nashville. If I couldn't do Nashville, then I'd do Tampa. Because that's where the money's at and that's where the action is. And you can build out a schedule where you can have lots of breaks. This is exactly. This is the number one thing. The number one reason people are like, Jussie Smollett was lying. Now, are there black men? I saw the recent news article of black men that was hung in Alabama. I am by no means mocking that men are safer than women in all situations, but 90% of the time when I watch 48 Hours or a police murder show or something crazy, it's a man hanging out with hookers. It's a man hanging out in a drug situation. It's a man at a right. So I just want to let that, that y'all keep building up that, Erica's just, it's so hard in America for a man, and I hear you. All right. When I see the divorce videos and people say 5 years later, the man is doing well and the woman's not doing well. The man has no kids. The kids are on the weekend. He can go to work Monday through Friday. He can go to work 12 hours a day if you want. Uninhibited. And so I want y'all to let some of that stuff go. Now, the thumbnail you see is the Washington Commanders, who a couple years ago, the Carolina Panthers and them switched places. Like Kirk Cousins, you keep moving him around the league. You keep moving several people around the league. And now they're sold out stadium. They're making money. It's crazy times because the quarterback. Now, you can't blame everything on the quarterback, but that's easy for teams to do because they're seen as the leader, right? Everybody doesn't have a Tom Brady. Everybody's never going to get a Tom Brady. Okay. Now, how do we truly change our identity to see ourselves and for others to see us in this new light, right? One of the things we have to do, and I'm just going to start with myself personally. I know people are like, what should I do, Erica? Listen, I'm starting myself personally. When you guys hear, oh, Erica, how do you do multiple projects? That just seems chaotic. Seems like a lot. And I'm like, it's really not. If I could have a day in life of my camera behind me, y'all would be bored. Because you have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you have Tuesday, Thursday. Okay. Let me say it again. You have Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You have Tuesday, Thursday. I know the average company, government entity, anything I'm trying to deal with is going to have a 24-hour to 48-hour response time. I know you don't believe this, but this is the big thing. On Tuesday, Thursdays, I literally, it used to be on Tuesday, Thursday, we looked at all the tech stuff, we looked at the recruiting stuff, and that was more than enough time to do it. Once you get in business after a couple years, everything's like super smooth, super easy. It doesn't become less hard. It just becomes very systemized. Okay. So Tuesday, Thursday for me, Tuesday, Thursday, we're checking on supplements, the shipments, the inventory, the sales, the marketing, what we're purchasing. And then by the time I send all the emails, check back, refer to people, call, by Thursday, they'll get back to me. Why Thursday? Because Friday, they don't care. They in the office, they in the warehouse, they in the factories. They don't care. They don't care where your shipment is. They don't care if it made it to the Amazon warehouse. They don't care if it got there. They don't care about none of that. Thursday, because they know Friday, they're not going to care about all that. They're going to whip up as much as they can. They're going to be like, hey, what you need? Did you fill out your form? Did you get your stuff in? On Thursday, they're so responsive because they've already planned their Friday to be a bunch of lazy asses. And this is most of corporate America. The average person in corporate America gets interrupted every 11 minutes in a corporate America. On average, 1/3 of the day is lost to interruptions in corporate America. 1/3 of the day. So this whole thing, we got to get y'all back to the offices. Technically, yes, they need to get y'all back to the office. But 9 times out of 10, a lot of people do more work at home. And they do the work by noon and they're done. Okay. And so Tuesday, Thursdays, I focus on that one company. That's it. If I got some calls, I'll do the calls. If I do a YouTube video, I'll do the video. But that Tuesday, Thursday, that's it. I'm in hyper focus mode to what is my routine. I'm going to go Tuesday, Thursdays are with my trainer. I'm going to overexert myself for an hour and 30 minutes with him because you need somebody to push you to be better, further, faster. Okay. And then I'm going to spend the rest of the day following up. And what are they doing in this particular company? This one company. What are we doing? Where's the shipments at? What are the numbers? Where do we need to adjust the ad budget? That's it. That's Tuesday and Thursday. That's it. That's it. That's Tuesday and Thursday. That's just that one company. Now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, again, I'm over kind of reaching on the Friday because I really don't do much on Friday. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we focus on our big business. What is our big business? Right? Because that other business will be eventually big business. But for right now, it's not. It doesn't need that many days. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is an overall. We write out our giant, big, hairy, scary to-do list for the week on Monday. Now, sometimes we get better and we do it on Sunday, but mostly we do it on Monday morning. What are the big things I have to do? What are the 20/80? What are the 20% of things? If I get them done, it makes the rest of the week smooth. Is it tenant issues? Is it property tax issues? Is it YouTube issues? Is it responding to comments? Is it responding to course purchases? Is it responding to coaching calls? Like that's our big hairy, like on Monday, I'm going to make sure everything's pre-planned. It's planned out. It's put in stone. So by the time I come back on Wednesday and I ignore it for Tuesday, I'm just taking a break. I don't care what your emails say on Tuesday. I don't care what the staff says. I come back on Wednesday. Most things have solved themselves. If I could show y'all how many emails, hundreds of emails we get in our email box, I'm like, I can't find my password. Enrique didn't respond in time. We come back the next day. It goes, oh, I reset my password. There's so many of those. You guys will be shocked. Or, hey, I can't find this link for Erica's something, right? Oh, I found the link. Like multiple emails in this full conversation, right? It's crazy. Or people pitching stuff nonstop. Right? Companies pitching stuff nonstop. We go, hey, our brand wants to work with your brand and affiliate marketing and this one. And we literally have a almost template response. How much, when, where's the video? Right? You literally pop that in there. And guess what? By Wednesday, they got a response, or by Friday, they have a response. Why is this our biggest and our hairiest company? Because it's so person interactive. Because there's so much people involvement. It requires more touches because we've been doing it the longest. It requires more touches, right? But by Friday's just a payday. Friday's just a harvest collect day. Usually by then we have, like, I woke up today and I kid you not, there was 5 affiliate companies that I had been working with and I hadn't done videos on in maybe 6 months. And there was checks in our, hey, this is pending to you, blah, 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 your business bank account. I'm like, what? Heck yeah, right? But that's because we built the well and we're just pumping the water at this point. The well's already been built. We're just pumping the water, right? Prime example. Here we go. Look. Judah Tunes. Haven't seen you in over a year. You fell in my algorithm. Just popped up randomly. Now, we've been doing content every day this past week. Before the election, during the election, after the election. We've been on here every day. This is part of why in Digital Liberty Warriors group, we're going to talk about why we're going hard this year on YouTube ads and Facebook ads. And YouTube is more powerful than Facebook ads, but that's a whole nother conversation. If you're inside there, you'll see. And how we're setting it up for the rest of the year, the next 53 days, and why it's important. Because if the algorithm doesn't push me for him to see me, now I'm spending Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like why the numbers don't make sense. Instead of hoping for viral moments, hoping for pop-up moments, I can kind of pull back on videos because I already know my next year's travel schedule, and I can literally just run ads and push up videos, right? So let's go ahead. Commanders have new ownership that also drastically changed the culture. Very much so. And Carolina Panthers has new ownership, and it's not good. It's very bad. very bad. And so much so that people can go, Sam Darnold is with the Minnesota Vikings and they're winning. Um, Baker Mayfield is in Tampa and he's winning. Kirk Cousins, not Kirk Cousins. Who's the other guy? The other guy that came through. They're all winning. So it's not the quarterback. It's the Carolina organization. It's terrible. So I'm a, there's a guy in my DM said he needed $200. I'm a storm victim. I said, go get a chime card. Let them spot you because I won't get your, got the coins, block me. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, y'all already know what it is. Y'all hear a hustle when you see it. These people, these are the same people when you wake up in your 50s and 60s when they're saying the most current unemployed people that are getting the most unhoused people that are getting unhoused quickly are people in their 50s and 60s. This is just the results of long-term goofing off. That's what it is. It's just long-term. So, this is what it is. It depends on the prep. Perp thinks he can take the guy. Smula is feminine too. Yeah, and one of the things they study on the people, they say people who make eye contact. The people who make eye contact that are alert, most criminals are like, nah, that guy's paying attention to like he's gonna be a fight, he's gonna be a struggle. I don't want it. And the funniest thing is culturally, Black people, we see each other, we do a head nod. White people see us, they put the head down. I go, that is dangerous. Just culturally, they're doing it. They don't realize they're doing it en masse. But I've traveled to so many cities and states, and I see white people like look away, look over, do all this weirdness, and I'll see Black people like I see you. Or I even have sometimes Black people that don't know, and I go hello, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. But it's cultural cues. It's cultural cues. Yeah, men know. When people are saying men versus the bear, these men reckon like what the bear. Then you read off like 9,000 crime reports of men like assaulting women. And they're like, I don't, that's crazy. So anyway, all right. So let me get to where I'm going with this. If you're enjoying the commentary so far, drop a 1 in the comments. Okay. Here is what you can do. I know I talk about journaling a lot. I sell a journal. I know you guys are like, oh my God, here should go with that. I'm not necessarily pitching my journal. Find whatever journal you want. Go get a notebook. Just get there to it. Emotionally dump in the notebook. That's step 1. Just have a 3 pages of what you're upset about, what's not going your way, all that stuff. Because what I'm finding here, and I've done it previously years ago, I would be on Facebook complaining. I'm like, wait a minute. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Like, I post more funny now than business or serious because most people don't care. Right? Some people are like, oh, that's so sad about that police beating that person. Anyways, oh, it's so sad about that. So what's happening at school? Anyways, right? You're going to care the most about your situation, your family, your opportunities. Hands down. Right? It's hands down. And hands down, you're going to care the most. So if you need to, take a notebook, emote into it, cry into it. But coming on YouTube, saying women don't look at you, they don't wink at you, they're not nice to you, they won't go on dates with you, men aren't looking your way, you can't get the man you want, you can't get the life you want. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. I know that sounds horrible. Nobody cares. Or number one thing, we're in their tech breaking in tech careers pages. Am I too old? I'm filling out thousands of applications and nobody's responding. Everybody's like, okay, and you know what I mean? Like, keep it moving. Nobody cares. I know that sounds horrible, right? There's literally a t-shirt that says nobody cares, work harder. And it's meant for men, but it's interesting. Like, there's motivation channels that are more men, some are more women. The women are like, relax, take it easy, you're doing a good job, you're a good mom, you're a good wife, it's okay, work is stressful, take a deep breath. And I think that's important for women. I think it's it opens certain chakras, certain levels, right? And I go listen to Andrew Tate motivation. One of y'all sent it to me and I laughed. But I actually listened to the whole thing. I was like, and he's like, nobody cares that you want to cry. You know who can cry freely? Children and women. And I just want y'all to know that's kind of true. Nobody cries. Nobody cares. Okay. Your mom dies, your grandma dies, I want you to cry. Your wife has a baby, I want you to cry. If you're getting married, I want you to cry, right? Like I don't want men to be cavemen, but I want you to understand in the long-term goals of life, Hey, I didn't have a dad, or I didn't have this. Like, people around you are like, and like, so did the guy who owns Chick-fil-A right now. He came from a family. His mother and his father, and he's in his 80s now, but his mother and father, he was at Earn Your Leisure. It was one of the best speeches they had. His mother and father both came from like orphan situations where the dad walked out. Now, if you understand 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, to have your dad walk out in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, oh my God, your mom is hooker. Your mom is a skank. Your mom is a horrible person. Like, what did your mama do? Did she get pregnant by a transient? You know what I mean? Like you have to understand how crazy it is, and how his father was even dropped off at an orphanage home because his mom's like, I can't survive and raise a kid. This is 1940s. I can't do it. Dropped him off and left him. So the man who, the Chick-fil-A man who owns Chick-fil-A, his mother and father, and this is the current CEO of Chick-fil-A, his mother and father, when they got married, said, listen, no matter what, no matter what's going on between us, no matter our issues, our concerns, our fights, we're not divorcing. We're going to raise our kids till they're grown. And if something happens to us, we're going to keep it going, all these things, right? And so he was saying that broke the chain for their family, for him. They went from these like orphan people that barely graduated high school out of their situations to every one of their kids going to like Ivy League schools by basically white affirmative action. You know what I'm saying? And he's the CEO of Chick-fil-A. And when he told that story on Your Leisure, it was almost like, nobody cares that you don't have a dad, dude. Nobody does. Don't let that be your story. I'm the CEO of Chick-fil-A. I'm from two parents who were orphans. Like you have to decide, what's your identity? Are you a winner? Is this a temporary stop? Like, I've had moments where I've been depressed for a few months. People are like, Erica, what's going on with you? And I'm like, oh, I come back out of it. I'm like, oh, I just had a moment where I lost my identity for a second. You have to know money is not your identity. Are you a long-term winner? Is it in you? Can you get it back? Can you go forward? Right? So that's just to keep that in mind. Now, so when I talk about the journaling, emote, dump in the journal, cry in the journal, be upset in the journal. When you come out, be a warrior. You know what I mean? To your family, to your friends, be who you want to be. Right? But now when I talk about creating this new identity, I talked to y'all about my Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I talked to you about my Tuesday, Thursday. That might help some of y'all. Maybe it not help all of you. Some of you want to start new business ventures, new things. You don't need to be selling 27 roofs week one. You don't need to be making $20,000 out of the stock market week one. You don't need to be having digital courses and they make $1,000 week one. I'm not going to sell you on that. I'm going to tell you, but if you're consistent, if you put every Tuesday, Thursday, you're working on your Instagram page, you're working on your YouTube page, you're working on your digital product, you're buying UGC videos, you're following what we're saying to do in the Digital Liberty Warriors group, you're getting affiliates in the group. I've asked multiple times in the Digital Liberty Warriors group, put your affiliate link up. Is it your product on Gumroad? Give us the link. We can go sign up and be each other's affiliates. That's the point of even having some of those groups. That's how a lot of people make money. And so I want you to understand, you have to determine, do you want the identity of winner? Look, AJ Simmons is in here. Your cleaning business ain't got to make $20,000 the first week. All right, be good. I will. So your business doesn't have to do $1 bajillion the first week. That's insane. That's not expected. It's a baby. You're putting time into it. Many of y'all, the reason y'all don't have the relationships, the connections, and the networks you want, y'all don't put no time in it. I have people I know right now, they're my sports friends. I call them sports friends. I know it sounds crazy, but this is what they call them. I call them sports friends. I have season tickets to the women's UT basketball game, girls basketball. I also go to, I've seen tickets for Mavs, Dallas, but that's a whole conversation about Dallas and networking in Dallas, and we'll have another conversation on that. So I already know I done got hit on my phone by the lady. There's a couple women in business who are like, oh my God, we're going to see, are you going to go to the girls basketball game next week? See you next week. I ain't heard from this lady in 2 months, right? But my follower is like, oh, of course, I'll be there. I'll be wearing this. See you there. We can go up at halftime to the Indeed part of the center, right? Meet and talk, whatever. Or before the game, meet outside and conversate. I already know I'm gonna see this woman that many times. I already also know I'm gonna see this woman in the spring at the girls' baseball games where we can sit side by side and talk more. Do I necessarily need anything from this woman's business and her roofing business or any of this stuff? No, I don't. I don't have to have something from her right now. You gotta give it to me. But am I building the pathway for that to come? Yes. When I meet so many people who are like, Erica, you don't understand. I have kids. I'm a parent. Life's different. You have the same 24 hours as everybody else. I know you want me to give you but you're a parent. You know, your kid was at school from 8 to 3 o'clock today. Then they were also at soccer from 4 to 6, but you're a parent. Sorry, you have the same 24 hours. Then your kid's going to get home and you're going to feed them. And then they're going to go sit in their room from 7 to 9. You're going to yell at them, make sure they get in the shower and go to bed. So the amount of hours you spent, I just know too many people who have teenagers and people have preteens and the people who have little toddlers. People who have toddlers, God bless you. People who have children under 3, salute to you. Take naps. Who cares? I'll see you in 2 years. But a lot of people make an excuse for why they're not winning, why life's not going their way, but they haven't invested anything. I met this guy. He was saying how girls want to be girlfriend or boyfriend right away, and I was listening to the story, and I was like, okay, I'm giving him 2 seconds to complain because he's 28. I'm gonna live him a few minutes. But I said, well, how often do you see this girl? Well, I see her twice a week. I try to call her as much as I can. I go, you're the one who wants the girlfriend. Don't you follow up with your bro friends to go to see football? Go hang out at Pluckers. Go hang out at football. Don't you connect with your friends to go talk about fantasy football? Nothing beats a consistent text every day. A consistent, and people say, "Oh, that's contrived." No, I'm just talking about a consistent time invested text. Hey, day was crazy. Hope you're doing all right. Blase, blase, blase. Right? It takes that little time. Your buddies and you are sharing 20 memes a day and frat boy fart humor memes a day. You can take your time to text, pick up the phone and call. You can do it. You know you can. When people say, Erica, oh my God, you want me to build an Instagram page around my business ideal? I've already showed you in Digital Liberty Warrior School Group where we get our templates. We can literally get 50 templates put up and we just move the picture of our product into the templates, change a few words, slap them up on Instagram. Oh, Erica, I don't got time to do that. Again, I'm just asking you, are you going to dedicate a Tuesday and Thursday to it? All Tuesday, all Thursday, when you come home for 2 hours, an hour, you're going to be on your phone all day anyway. Boom, post them. Are you going to lock in for a few hours and just create a bunch of thumbnails? You could do that too. So again, I just want to put that in there. 20% of our efforts deliver 80% of our stuff. My videos may seem like 20%, but they produce 80% of the results. Everything else after the video is me following up with emails, following up with links, making sure you got in the right funnels. People are like, hey, I bought Diamond Dave's course. Did they click my link? Did I see it funnel through? Did I see how many number of people clicked the video? Okay, how many people did this? How many people did that? Great. That's all the smaller options. Getting this video to be a great video is my 80%, right? It may seem like a small amount. You're just doing a video, you're just doing our video. It's very important. Okay. So let me go on to the next. All right. Do you want the 2-year experience or do you want the 10-year stretched out experience? Now, for those of you who are talking about, I want to be in real estate, Erica, I want to buy like 10 rental properties or just, can I get you to focus on every 2 years over a 10-year period buying one rental? If I can get you just to go focus hard on just one 60 grand to 150 grand rental right now, and that's all you're going to focus on for the rest of the next 365 days, is how do you get the 10% down payment or how do you get the actual pre-approved mortgage to buy that rental, you're good. Because if that's how long it takes you, that's how long it takes you. If it takes you 24 months every single time to get just one, I'm okay with that. Because guess what? In 10 years, if you don't quit, you got 5 now. You're watching other people online who are willing to grind. I don't want to grind anymore. I told y'all there was years where I grinded. I had appendix surgeries. I fell out. I had other surgeries. And I realized time is going to pass either way. If I just keep going, it adds up. It adds up. It's just a time process. And wealth is a time process. That's why when people say, "Oh, I hear at grandma's house and grandma's house ain't putting $500 in my pocket every month," F grandma's house. Of course you don't have generational wealth. Of course you never will. Your mind isn't even prepared for it, right? Because we have daily tasks and we have weekly tasks. Grandma's house maintenance. This is where people lose me when they have a house and they're like, "Oh, the grass is up to my kneecaps." I'm like, you didn't have 30 minutes your whole week to go cut the grass. "Oh, Erica, my lawnmower didn't have gas, and then I didn't have my weed whacker string broken." You don't have 30 minutes to just lock in and cut your grass. I know people don't come and knock by your door. "Sir, I'll charge you $50. "Oh, I don't have $50. You don't have $50 for the guy to cut your grass. You got to get out of the house. Being in the house isn't helping you this week. If you need to go Uber for a day so you have money to get gas in your lawnmower to cut the grass, that's what you might need to do." It starts with the small stuff, right? I used to get up and our military parents would get on us, "Make your bed, make your bed." Man, I'd be like, "Why are y'all beating us over the head about this?" But making your bed, even though it seems small, you would come home and be like, room looks better. 80% better. Just the bed being made the room look 80% better. There's socks and toys and S on the floor, but the bed's made, right? So it's the little stuff. So when I drive by somebody's house and I see their front yards in disarray, I see their backyards a mess, I already know their life is out of control. Their life is out of control. I already know. They can't even find 30 minutes to care about the yard they pull up in. Now, but you'll see their car in the yard and it's nicely washed and freshly clean. And a lot of black people like, you're beating up on black people, Erica, because their grass isn't cut. No, this is a mentality. When I drove around Detroit and I saw people with Dodge Chargers freshly washed and the grass to their knees, I already know your life is shambles. It's shambles. Get out of here. Exactly. Sometimes $30. Sometimes it's just a kid walking by in the neighborhood. "I'll cut your grass." And you haggle them. Okay. So again, so you have to decide. I don't want you choosing businesses or ideals because of money, but of high curiosity, right? Are you curious? Are you curious how this business works? Are you interested? Do you see things like, for me, roofing and solar? I just know the numbers are so astronomical in roofing and solar. I don't have to go crazy right now and do 5,000 hours of roofing talks. I know I can slowly roll out a roofing company, literally work and partner with these ladies that are in this association I'm in. And some of them are going to have leftover work and some of them are going to have leftover leads. And if I just do 1 to 2 roofs a week for a year, that's $1 million company. Let's say I do half of that. That's a $500,000 company that I'm not going to break my neck over. I already know the contractor. I already know the framers. I'm already in the ecosphere. And guess what? The more you get in the ecosphere, the more those people are running around talking, "Hey, Erica, I have a project over here." Today, I spent half the day messaging people on Instagram who work in land and new development. I have 2 students who reached out to me, didn't go to any of the events I put on, said, "Hey, I watched your videos. I took your funding bundle. I got on the phone with you." One of them had dinner with me. "And I just built my first house. Look, Erica." So when y'all tell me, "I don't know, Erica, I'm just thinking about it 2, 3 years later," I know you're not ready. And that's okay. Because I sit here with students who didn't go to courses, they didn't go to the events I put on, they ain't even mentored like that. They literally watched these videos, got the funding bundle, took their credit cards, and started building new construction. So when y'all tell me y'all can't, "Oh, I don't know how to do something," I go, "Okay, all right. Have you booked a call with me? No. Have you bought any of my courses? No, I just watch all your videos. Cool. I'm okay with that. I already know what happens. I already know, right?" So you have to decide. So let's say we want a 2-year rundown. "Erica, I need the biggest wholesaling company, new construction company, SaaS company, software as a service." If y'all don't know what that is, white label. We're going to talk about white label in both Middleman to Millions and in Digital Liberty Warriors on purpose. I'm going to talk about the different types of white label. Even white label credit repair. There's a couple of those, right? We'll put it inside the groups. And again, all this stuff isn't free to me. Like, I want you to understand some of this roofing training, how to deal with insurance companies, it's like a $500 training. And I'm like relaying it to you. There's reasons I'm doing that. It's part of my business model inside of school, but you know,
Hey, there you go, AJ. Well, let's book a video sometime. But yeah, or you can come into school groups and talk about it. Either one, it's up to you. Um, but I want y'all to understand, and I'll leave that up there. I want y'all to understand the power in that. There's power in that. You just have to decide. So now, if you say, "Hey, Eric, I really want the 2 year version of me in 2 years. My name is Greg, and I'm gonna be doing A, B, and C." Great. Well, Greg, let's just reverse engineer what you're gonna be looking like in 2 years. What type of car or truck you're gonna be driving in 2 years. Prime example, Anthony was in Ohio and now he's in Houston, Texas, or in the suburbs, and he's in tech. And he has a whole new identity and a whole new purpose and a whole new being. Right? I see what you're talking about. And so let me just go back into the steps, right? We had step one. I want y'all to get into your journal and just have an emotional dump. Do that as many days a week you need to. Save pages for it. Do what you got to do, right? Um, and then what's your keystone habit? A lot of men go, I go to the gym. It's my keystone habit, Erica. Gym every day. And I just tell you, you can go to gym right now and meet 80% of the most buff jack dudes are broke. Aaron Carey makes fun of it all the time. He goes, meet the guy that's just like 17 abs, working a 30K year job, broke. Because he thinks this is his keystone habit. Not growing his income, not growing his network, not growing his opportunities. If I sat here and told you I need you to reach out to 5 people every day on Instagram, not on Instagram, on LinkedIn. You're trying to get into tech, you're struggling. I need you to reach out to 5 people a day with a great message every day. There's even software that does that for y'all. That's another conversation, but let me keep it moving. I need you to reach out every day for five people a day. Oh my God, Erica, 5 people a day. Just do it for 10 days. Keep that motion going for 10 days. Can you make 10 days? If you can't make 10 days, then we can readjust the habit. But a lot of you go, I'm going to be out here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You got like 15 goals. No, I just want y'all to have one big one. What's your keystone habit? And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say this, and this is hurtful. I hear you. The people you're around right now can't get you what you need. The people you're around right now cannot get you what you need. The people you conversating with and key and ha 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 and goofing off every day with cannot get you what you need. If it was, you would already have it. Right? So what do I need you to do? Earlier, I had a conversation with someone important to me, and I was like, they're like, oh, you need to follow up this person because now they done did this. This person we know done built a whole apartment building, which is great. But if you're not following up in that person's journey as they're doing that, now you're somebody who is just popping up out of nowhere. So I'm just letting you know, you need to be following up, messaging, contacting 5 to 10 people a day in your space. If you're saying you're America, I'm a wholesaler, you don't got time to talk to me. You need to be going out every day, 5 to 10 wholesalers. How can I help you? How can I work with you? How can I do deals with you? Et cetera, et cetera. How can I go get more land deals? How can I get more of this, more of that, right? Et cetera, et cetera. Same thing with tech. You need to be speaking to more tech people every day, more tech conferences, right? The same thing I've been promoting for 2 years, therealdeal.com. Mobile Home Geek, therealdeal.com. That way you can see what's going on in the city. You can see what's going on in the economy. You can see what's going on in the areas. Okay. So then let's go on to the next. All right. So 10-day test. Your 10-day test in that new thing you're adding. Is the audio okay? Someone put a 1 in the comments if the audio is okay. If the audio is not okay, someone let me know. Okay. Put a 1 in the comments if the audio is okay. Let me know. Okay, everybody's putting 1s. All right, so we're good. Let me keep going. So you got a 10-day test. Now you got a 30-day test and a 100-day test. By 100 days, let's just say you're walking. There's one of our friends is in real estate, and she was on a TV show. No disrespect, she was on a TV show, and people kept calling her chubby on the TV show. So she was in her feelings. So every day she started walking 5 miles. So they would have the construction project. She said, hey, I'm going to walk around the neighborhood 2 miles and come back. Or she would wait till she got home and walk by the park by her house 5 miles every day. She lost 40 pounds. Now she's ready to do season 2 of the show. She's like, I'm ready to be on the show. Now she's already told us TV's dead, but they do get a lot of interviews. They do get a lot of banks. They do got a lot of connections reaching out to them because they did the TV show. But in total, she's like, TV's dead. Just like I say, the Midwest is dead. And so What motivated her? What was her heavy overall goal? What was her 100-day plan? Was people were making fun of her on a TV show and in her comments and calling her chubby. And so it motivated her because she's very much tied to being considered a beautiful woman, which she's always been beautiful in my eyes. It's just, she gained a little weight in the past couple of years. But that's her identity, is being this beautiful woman. She's got a good looking exotic husband, and that's her identity. You know, her kids are getting older, and that's her identity. So she wants to continue to be seen that way. So you have to realize, you have to understand what are people's underlining thoughts and emotions and things they're thinking on, right? What's going on there? So let me put it here. Where did I put that note? Right. So again, weekly to-do lists are better than daily to-do lists. Most people think, I'm trying to just break it down into little pieces every day. No, because you're going to fill your day with fluff. Write a giant, hairy, scary to-do list on Monday. Look at the most important things. The 2 things that make you money, do those things first. If they're like, you need to get your tax bill and your dentist appointments and your stuff, do those first. All the other stuff is filler for the rest of the week. They're filler for the rest of the week. Get the 2 most important things done. All right. So prime example, I already know I write out my budget for the year. I already wrote down I'm gonna spend anywhere from 23,000 to 30,000 on travel next year. How did I know that? How I'm like, that's a big number. That's people's salary, right? How did I know that? Easy, reverse engineer. I already know I have a trip in January. Then I know I have a big trip in March. Why? March is my birthday month. So I have a big international trip. All right. So then I know again, May, I have another big international trip. May. Then I switch down to July. I already know. July. I spend a week and some change with my mother and family. And then I spend the next 2 weeks in a mental, spiritual, emotional rest and retreat between Salt Lake City and Canada. I go all over the place. So you can't ever pinpoint me down, but I take those 2 weeks and I just, and I relax and I go see stuff and I go get yogas and massages and when they circle the bowls and make the noise, all that stuff, right? Deep. I already know how much that costs. I know what it's going to cost me. I know how much the horse riding in Alaska is going to cost me. I know how much the fishing in Alaska is going to cost me. I already know my budget for these trips, right? I already know it. I already know it. Pretty much the whole month of July, I'm off. Whole month. I already know it, right? So then switch it down to October. I already know what my annual week and a half trip up north is going to be. Then December, going to Africa. I already know. Next year I'll be in Africa. So I just plan my time around it. Now you're gonna say, Erica, but you're building these 2 new businesses and like that just takes so much of your attention. No, pay attention. What did I tell y'all? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the big boy that takes care, the big money maker that makes a ton of money, that funnels things out here is the YouTube and everything that spills over from it. Right? The calls, the consulting, the classes. When people say courses are dead, I'm like, it depends on who you talk to. Depends on who you talk to. Depends on what you need, right? So those I already know those numbers. I already know how much ad space I need to run for that. So I already know my ad budget is going to be 40 grand. That's separate. That's not personal. That's business. But I know that. So I write that down. Like, okay, that's my ad budget. Make sure it's in my notes. It probably will be closer to 100 grand next year if things go like I want them to go. But I know for now it's 40. Okay. What's my next line item? Okay, massages and facials. I'm gonna spend 5 to 10 grand a year on massage and facials. I already know. When I was in Hawaii, I was like, honey, it's Friday. We're booking our couples massage. It's already in the budget. It's already in the plan. It doesn't change, right? And when we get out of alignment of that, the last 2 weeks, me and him both been like, oh my God, my back, my shoulder, my neck. Oh my God, we need to stretch. We need to do something. Oh, guess what? We haven't been doing our massages. We haven't laid down and decompressed for 90 minutes and let somebody rub on our back and our shoulders. That's how we know. We already know. Our body's like, what's going on? You're going to the gym, you're walking out, you're in the hot works, you're in the sauna, but you're not doing the massage part. What are you doing? Your muscles know, your body remembers what it needs. Okay. So I already know that. That's in my budget. It's already set aside. Now, another 10K for what did I write over here? Oh, courses and masterminds. Okay. Really, that number is closer to 20K for next year. I'm not even gonna lie to myself. I'm just giving this for y'all for the combo. I already know one of the masterminds I want to attend is 5K. It's literally us over the water in a house, a giant house in Austin, Texas. Everybody has to pay $5K to get in there. You're in there talking. You're in there. What are your company doing? What is your affiliate company doing? Where are you growing? Where are you doing this? I'm at that level now where I go to the more intense, like, okay, this is the thing I'm doing for ads this week. Have you done this? Can you show me? Can you adjust mine? Can you tell me who you're using? What can I do with that person? Right? Help me out here. Right? Um, all that, right? And so then there's the ones like there are people I know that are conference friends. And I hate to say friends. I think we use friends too much in America. I would say associates. Just like the sports associate. She's my sports associate. I'm going to see her every sports game. I already know. I'm going to get a text from her and I respond. Right? I have a conference associates. Oh, Greg Cardo's conference is in Las Vegas. We're going to see you guys in Las Vegas, right? We're going to see you before, we're going to see you during, or we're going to see you after. There's another finance conference in Arizona. I already know. I'm going to see you there before, during, or after. There's certain type of business people we're going to meet in those spaces. So we go ahead and adjust the schedule. I'm not rushing. Oh my God, I got to work Monday through Friday. And then I'm going to try to fly in Friday night and cram on Saturday and cram on Sunday and jump to the airport and go back because I got to get back for the home and the kids. And if you're in that season of life, God bless you. But if you cannot, from this point here, we're at what? November 8th. Say next year in May, I'm taking 4 days, 5 days for me, or 4. Let's just say 4. Let's say you fly in Thursday, kind of reassess yourself. Friday, you have dinners and lunches and talk to people. And then you're going to the conference Saturday and Sunday. And Sunday afternoon, you're flying home to decompress. Take a journal with you. Emotionally dump everything you can while you're on the plane going home. Because you're going to forget. And on top of you forgetting, you're going to get home. And what is your spouse going to do? What did you learn? Why did you go? Was that put money in our pocket? You guys have people y'all going home to like that. I don't know why you did it, but you did. I recommend, if you can, if possible, bring those spouses with you at your own peril. Okay, bring them with you. Let them educate and be educated aside. I'm doing this so we can, baby, go from making 100K a year to 250K a year. So that our kids can have braces, so our kids can have sports, so we can travel, so we can take care of your mom, so we can take care of my father, so we can do this, so we can do that. That's how you have to start reframing those conversations with those people. Now, I know some people right now one or two people who they lost like 100 pounds. And at the end of their journey of losing 100 pounds and going to conferences and stuff, they were so separate and different from their spouse. They kind of gave their spouse the option, like, you need to come join me on this journey, or I don't even know if we're going to be able to function together. Unfortunately, they didn't. I've met people like that. That's why I tell y'all, for some of those conferences, they're for yourself, they're for your team. If you're trying to build a business, you need to go and get all you can get. But for some of y'all, you need to bring your wife or spouse to at least 1 or 2 days so they can see it, they can feel it, they can get it. I'm going to tell you right now, when I meet women in their 40s, there's one of the top roofing women in Texas, in Houston. Most people say, oh, you're a divorced woman. Nobody's going to want you, single mom with these multiple kids. She is partnered and in loving relationship with one of the wealthiest roofing men in Texas. How did they meet? At a conference. How are they growing their businesses now? Together. He had a massive heart attack at a young age. Stress, smoking, all that stuff does it to you. And he's fit. That's the crazy part. Everybody's like, what? 6-pack abs, roofing guy? But again, men smoke, drink, whiskey, all that stuff. It'll catch up with you. And while he was down, guess who helped that business keep running and be straight? His staff and her. She running her own business. They just got married, just started to commingle. But when y'all want to get somebody who's a victim, who can barely help themselves, who it makes your ego feel good that you're helping some poor beat up person. Look at me, so smart and beautiful, and I got this little beat up person that I rescued like a puppy. You're going to create problems for yourself. That's just common sense. But that's what some of y'all are looking for. Y'all are looking for ego strokes, not for partnerships, not for relationships, and not for people. I'm going to leave that there. Do with that what you will. Next is SEO and I'll put in my notes. SEO and leads. I put 48,000. You're going to say, whoa, that's a lot of money. So the kind of going and coming of SEO, local business SEO, leads and ads and SEO, they're going to charge around $2K a month. I know there's people say, I can do it for $49. Erica, I can get you some leads for $400, $500. I can get you some leads for $1,000. I'm going to just tell you right now, what I'm seeing, the more I'm into the roofing, more I'm even into the YouTube side of this and the affiliate marketing side, it's $2,000. It's $2,000 a month. So for one of my companies, That's SEO for that. For the second company, it's SEO for that. So when you hear my budget, you can always cut it in half. But I just want you to understand, like $2,000 a month, I already know off rip, it has to go. That's not even the ad, that's separate from the ads budget. The ads budget is 40 grand. All right. The SEO, just so when you go online and can find me, is to I let this guy test with my company for a month. And I popped up with 10 Google ads that reviews that you guys, some of you classy climbers gave my company. And I was like, thanks. Like, yeah, I came to Erica's office. It was a nice office. And I was just like, what? But you don't know how it works till you start kind of like learning. And a lot of you, what you're going to say, well, Erica, I'm going to personally study every single thing on how to do it myself, how to do SEO myself, so I don't have to pay people. And I'm fine with that. That's how you want to spend your next year. Go ahead. That means you're choosing the 10-year road. Nothing wrong with that. Just remember, you're choosing to span it out. Money shortens it. Putting skilled people around you shortens the time. Developing yourself shortens the time. Okay. So what's the other stuff? Of course, I got my own personal bills for housing and cars and all that stuff. But those are the biggest ones. When I tell you, like, when people say, I don't know how much I need and life is getting so expensive, I'll even put, I'm going to buy a whole cow from my favorite farmer that we're going to bring on the channel here at some point. So let's say for the cow, one cow can last a family of 4 for a year. So let's just go there. A whole cow by myself. Let's just say, for sake of argument, we're going to spend $3 to $5 grand for the whole cow. That's just on the cow. All right. So we know that. That's already issued out of our budget. We already know that's issued out of our budget. We already know. So what do we need for that? Where's that cow going to go? Where are we going to put all that cow? Is it going to go in a deep freezer? Is it going to go in a refrigerator? Do we need to buy a second refrigerator? See what I'm saying? You have to start saying in advance, this is the number I'm looking for. This is what I'm trying to do. So all this should be in your journal. You should say, oh my God, Erica, let me pull up my calculator. I'm not putting the rent in there. I'm taking some things off just for the show to give you the number. But I know I'm going to spend, let's just say $5 grand to give it for the cow, right? I'm spending $5 grand for the cow. I'm going to spend $5 grand, right? For the cow, which you could do cheaper, but just for sake of argument. I'm going to spend 23 grand for the travel. I'm going to spend 8 grand for the massages. Let's just do that number bigger, and facials. I'm going to spend 15K. I'm going to split in the middle for the conferences and masterminds and one-on-ones. And there's a guy that goes to Cabo, and you have to be in Cabo with the group, and you have to show how much money you make. I already know. So put that there. Okay. Then I'm going to put 48,000 for SEO. Then I'm going to put 40,000 on ads. That's 139,000 already. I already know. 139 right there. So 139. And that's not rent. That's not gas. That's not some other stuff. That's just like, let's even break it down. Let's take some of that off. Let's just go, Erica. Let's just go travel. 23 grand, 5 grand the steak, and 8 grand the massage and stuff. Let's just do that. Even smaller. That's 36,000 right there in personal care. And pinnacle care. Health, food, travel. So you have to really understand what's your true budget. A lot of y'all are very unhappy because you don't know your true budget. You're getting in massive credit card debt because you don't know your true budget. You're very upset because you're not being able to properly vent your emotions and say, what is something I can do for the next 100 days in a row and be consistent? Right? So I'm going to read over your comments and I'm going to get on out here because we have gone over the hour mark. That's not was my plan. Let me go back up here. I saw some of y'all comments and I missed them. Okay. Where am I at? Let me go down here. Oh, Lord. Okay, here it is. Brain dumping works. It does after every conference. Y'all getting bacon? Mm-hmm. Give me a little creamer, the healthy creamer, the kind I like. The vegan food, as my nephew says, y'all. I get the vegan food. Okay. Brain dumping works. I nodded at a dude earlier when he was exiting Pluckers and I was entering. He didn't nod back. Shame on him. Shame on him. He was a nerdy, scrawny dude. Shame. Shame on his name. A lot of crap not going my way. I don't get about it. People get over it. Simple. Yeah. Facts. That's how I operate, honestly. Facts. Don't be a man and fall off. No one will cry for you except your mom. Listen, I was watching The Penguin, and I don't want to spoil it for y'all because I really want y'all to watch the show. Colin Farrell gonna get an award, and so is the girl that plays the Hangman, but she's not Sophia. Listen, the woman was locked up for 10 years. Only person cared was her brother was like, I'm gonna get you out. I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna get you out. Her whole mafia family was like going on about their life, like everything was chill for 10 years when they knew she didn't do the crime and she shouldn't have been locked up. People will go on about their life, y'all. I watched that show. I was so mad because most people think she's a woman. They're gonna help the woman, help the woman. I don't think y'all understand that women, I'm not gonna say this, I'm trying to be careful how I say this. You know, people like the wall, the wall, the wall. There are women who are 60 years old with a 70-year-old boyfriend that's gonna help them. There are women who are 45 and got some old man named Mr. Charlie that's gonna come over and help her. Okay. Men, when they are over a certain age, when I worked at the homeless men shelter helping do resumes and stuff for the men there were people, we would be like, do you have kids? Do you have an ex-wife you could go home to? You know, somebody you could help you. And 9 times out of 10, the men had adult kids, they had an ex-wife, and they would look you dead in the eye and go, I ain't gonna spend my time apologizing for a place to stay. I ain't gonna be kissing they ass for a place to stay. So there's a level of ego and pride and mental health issues, of course, with men when it comes to like needing help, right? These homeless men who were at a shelter getting free services and help and food had whole children they could go call and knock on the door and was refusing to do so out of pride. That's why I say you have to really understand people will lock into an identity and never let it go. You ever see people who got out the military 20 years ago, they still walking around with a Buzz military cut and cargo pants and army boots, and you're like, baby, you 50. What are you doing? Where are you going? They walking around like they a drill sergeant. You think any moment now they're gonna bust out in full uniform, like Superman. People get stuck to an identity and refuse to change or adjust it. I'm just being very clear. Women will love their husband and try to do all they can for their husband, but will think back. Remember that time he tried to cheat on you and he need help? Man, get out of here. Right? Nobody but children are expected. If a father runs off and runs the streets and acts like a hooligan, nobody but children are expected to take care of that father if he comes back. I told y'all this and I told y'all this story a million times, but I'll tell it again. I was in Belize. I was having a great time in Belize. We looked at the coffee farms and the cacao farms, the chocolate, coffee and the chocolate. And on the way back, I had a first class ticket and somebody was sitting in my seat with a dog and they looked like a bag of bones in my clothes. So I'm pissed. I'm pissed now because that's my conceit. I don't care what's going on with you. He's like, can you please let me sit here and look out the window because I'm leaving Belize for the last time. I'm dying of cancer. And I know he was dying. He was bones. Like there was no need for him to lie. Like he was bones. And he was like, and I'm pissed. I'm pissed, y'all. I'm like, I don't give a shit. You're in my seat. So I sit there, I go, cool, no problem. Because I think in my mind, he ain't gonna need no help to get up to go to the bathroom. He just gonna be sitting here. And of course he did at some point need to go help with the bathroom. I'm like, I'm not helping. The stewardess tried to help him get up. But I know y'all think I'm cruel right now. But reason I was like that, because the whole flight, I asked a couple questions because I was in a chattery move. I was already pissed. And because he told him it's his last flight, he was never coming back to Belize because he was gonna die. They gave him free wine. They gave him all the drinks. They gave him every drink they could find, right? And I'm getting free drinks because he's sitting beside me. And they're like, we know you're upset that he's in your seat. We're really sorry about that. And he's telling me that he left his wife and kids 34 years ago. And his ex-wife is old now. She remarried to somebody else. But his youngest son that he didn't see since he was 1 year old, he was flying back to Nashville, Tennessee for that son to pick him up and care for him till he died. I said, sir, why didn't you just stay in Belize with your woman and the people you with now? Oh, my young thing I was with, she left and went back to her family. So I took my dog. So we're on the plane for a long time. Belize back to America ain't no short trip. Now, long and story short,
The dog is kind of whimpering, and so they're trying to find something to feed the dog because he didn't even have food for the dog the day they left. He said, "I everything I have is in that one suitcase and the clothes on my back." I said, "Do you own property in Belize? Do you have any investments? Do you have anything? What did you do? You liquidate?" I'm in the story. I'm like, "Where's the money? You've been gone 34 years. Where the fuck is the money?" No money. Nothing. Bones. Trying to limp back coughing to kids that he has abandoned, ain't seen in 34 years. This is why when people say, why do people not give sympathy to men? I'm telling you, they will literally, when they say, do what's best for you, men will be like, you know what's best for me? I'm going to leave my family and go to Thailand and chase booty. No plan, just booty chasing. This is why when people say, y'all don't ever give sympathy to men. I know. I know they don't. There's plenty of reasons why they don't. Nobody cares. We don't care because we know y'all will do what's best for y'all. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna keep it moving. But that stuck in my head so much when I was on that Belize trip. I was like, baby, live while you can live, because people change their mind every day on something. Just keep it moving, simple. Never mind, go my way, but life keeps pushing. It's something about them orphans. They end up successful for sure. For sure. 100%, AJ. Time, skills, dedication, love, for sure. Ninjas think they got to make a crazy money to own a business, yet will work for somebody else for $20 an hour. Just start a business. If you getting 400 a day, you have a 6-figure club. You're in the 6-figure club for sure. Facts. I was inspired by Diamond Dave's appearance yesterday. Thank you. Diamond Dave will also be coming back on this upcoming Thursday. Bring all your stock questions, bring all your quizzes, things you have to think of and answer. You can also email us at admin.classyclimbtx.com. We sent an email to the email list and we got about 100 responses. So that's what I used for the questions yesterday. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, now, hey, wipe your feet when you come into the stream, bumping on that. You already know, like button. Women really not built for stressful lives. I would agree. Like women that are married and have like multiple children do die young. They die younger than most women. So my biggest thing when I tell people is, if you're a woman and you figure, look, I don't want to work in an office, I don't kiss somebody's ass, do the slow build. Buy a rental every other year. Have property managers. You can retire now if you want to. Literally, the S&P 500, and this is no knock. This is for real. Like, the reason I want Diamond Dave and people to come on to talk about the stock market is people that get in and out of stock market, they getting 30%, 60%. Catherine was in the comments the other day talking about every 90 days she gets 30% off this one particular stock. I was like, girl, if you don't call me and text me. But the average person rather go, I'm just going to put a couple $100 every month for 20, 30 years. And I'm going to wake up at 70 and it's going to be there. And we've shown calendars and math. The math ain't math. If you put $100 in every day from 45 on, you'll only have 150,000. We've shown people that. If you start at 25, yes, you will have $1 million. But most people ain't starting at 25 and most ain't starting at 35. They're starting at 45. When that body starts to ache a little, starts to get a little cramped, stuff start not going their way, the kids start being expensive. Now we got to get creative in our thought process. And this is why I encourage you, if you're watching this channel, that's the time to chart out and plan your life. How much is next year going to cost me? How many pre-deposit payments do I need to put down? How many hotels do I need to save in advance for next year? How many opportunities do I need to lock in early? These are all things you can pre-plan a very stress-free life. I wanted a plane. I kept saying, I really want that plane. I think it's a 2-year window, or might be 1 year window. I really need the recession to hit a little harder on them planes so I can get one. But Trump in there now, so, it might be a 2-year bull run, but I need that plane. I saw a young lady that was 28. Her and her husband bought a plane. They in Georgia flying around. I'm like, wait a minute. She pregnant and everything. And they just were focused and dedicated on their company for 2 years, her and her girlfriend, because it's 2 women own a company. And they made that, they were making $4 million a year. And she went out and bought a plane. And I said, you know what? A little focus. You just got to have a little focus. You just determine what you want, how you want to live. But you got to write it out. You got to know where you're going. You got to have a chart and a plan for that. You got to have a chart and a plan.
It costs $30 to get your yard cut, sometimes cheaper. You already know. Nobody wants to do landscaping anymore because other people have bed bugs nowadays. Woo! Yikes. I had a coworker who had a husband from a rural area, 5 preteens. They refused to cut the grass on the house. The aunt left her. Her excuse was she was from New York and the husband works. And they will wake up. And this is why we used to joke. We had a neighbor that moved into a rental in my mom's neighborhood over here, and they didn't cut the grass. And they were from New Jersey. They're like, we don't even own a lawnmower. I'm like, yeah, but there's been countless black men and little kids and teenagers just come knocked your door and told you they could cut your grass. There's no reason for it to look like that. That's you're nasty. You're lazy. And sure enough, that they end up having to get out the neighborhood because they moved down here on the grandfather's pension. He brought his daughter. He brought his granddaughter. The granddaughter was pregnant when they left New Jersey. She brought her boyfriend. They were all just working at Walmart and the factories out here. Grandpa walking around the neighborhood every day, just happy to be retired. I don't think y'all understand how dire straight people are. If the father or the matriarch, sometimes the mother of their family dies, like I had to tell my mom today, I'm like, do you know how blessed you are with a house and a huge pension? There's so many people's moms right now trying to figure out how they're going to go work more as a teacher, as a nurse, how they're going to work 10 more years, how they're going to put little junior through college. You don't have any of those problems. But we also have the problem when you get higher up in income, you realize, well, I can make more than this. But people don't want to hear that part. This was the question earlier. What app would you recommend keeping up with real estate news? TheRealDeal.com. I've told y'all that like 9,000 times. TheRealDeal.com. It has countless articles on what's going on all over the nation. It's one of the best. But really getting in touch with people in your environment is what's going to help you. Let me see here. Let me finish this out. What else y'all got that I miss? I need help with SEO. Receiving so many calls for Chime Bank. Who do you recommend? It's wherever you at locally. I would go with a local guy. I'm not just going to name a SEO person. I would go with somebody local that you can meet in person and talk to. Hey, Erica, where do you talk about the health tests and supplements we should be taking? I quarterly do it. I'll probably send out another email at some point, but I don't have I haven't been talking about the blood work tests and the health supplements for a second here. I haven't taken it over a second, but I'll post it on the community wall. I'll just make note for the next 53 days. Every day I'll post the links for blood tests and supplements for the next 53 days. I'll put it in my notes, just add it to the community wall and to the emails. But I mean, you guys, when I post stuff, I would take notes, just be honest, because sometimes I don't even think about it again after a while. When a man falls off, nobody cares. Facts on facts. AJ Simmons, when a good man is down, people care. I keep trying to take care of my uncle. He doesn't want to help. Yes, I will. Let me correct that. When a good man is down, when your father who's been instrumental in caring in your adult life is down, people care. People care. But when a man that has not invested in his family and friends is down, people don't care. It really is sad. It really is sad. Stop it. These folks don't know about the real deal. I was real estate licensed in New York City back in 2017, or Financial Advisor Magazine, or MDRT for financial industry. $1 Million Roundtable. Facts on facts. Facts. Top 1% of financial professors in 80 counties. I fell 7,500 in commission short of qualifying in 2020. That sucks. That absolutely sucks. Sorry you missed it by a little bit. Congrats on all your success. Listen, I just want y'all to understand, like, journaling, tracking is all for the good. Journaling and tracking is all for the good. Like, I broke so many Fitbits. I took a protest against Fitbit, but I know I hate not knowing the data. Like, okay, you're not walking enough. You already know. You're not walking enough. You're not drinking enough juice. Like, if you saw my stories, Instagram stories, I posted the juice people here. They do raw juice. I always buy like 6 or 7 raw juice from in town and try to drink one every day just to be up on the stuff while I'm here, so that I'm not too thrown off my mission. The old man story flying back from Belize sounds like a Lifetime movie. I wonder if he made it to the kids, if they accept him back. I saw him in the airport once we, you have to go through when you show your visa, your passport, and all that stuff like that. But they immediately as he got off the plane, the security was there with a wheelchair and was like, nah, you got to go to a separate thing. And I think it's because he had cancer and he was sick. I know America's finicky about when you come to America sick. You know what I'm saying? But he was a different type of sick. He was cancer sick. So I think he was just like, I can't walk. I barely made it to the airplane. I know I can't get down the stairs and do all this other stuff. So I remember seeing him in the wheelchair. And then when I was leaving the airport, I saw him go to a special side. Like I was going to this one side and I saw him like a crew of people with him. And when I mean a crew, I mean the airport staff. Like, nah, we're going to take you to this side room over here. So I hope he made it out. I hope he was able, what he was telling me is he didn't even have, his son wasn't even picking up. He had a medical transport that was transporting to his son's house. And his son was, of course, 34, 35. It was the baby that he left behind. So I think the baby of the family was taking him. But as far as his ex-wife, she was remarried. She didn't want to see him. His older kids didn't want to see him. His baby son wanted to see him. And I was like, I felt so bad because I thought he's just bones. Whatever man you had in your mind of what your father looked like in his strongest, his youngest days, this ain't that man. This man coming here to die and thinks he's entitled to come back and die at your house. That's the crazy part. So, but anyway, that's what I have for y'all today. Basically journaling, getting your life in order, deciding if you want to take 2 years to go there or 5. It's up to you, or 10. All these things, you can wake up and have a life full of awesome activities, opportunities, etc. Right? Jesse Isler, and the part of my motivation for doing this one is it's the end of the year. A lot of people try to give up. But again, we got 53 more days. We got 7 weeks. So much life change can happen in that time frame. I know for certain. Jesse Isler has this thing called the big ass calendar. And he gets this giant calendar. You put it up on the wall. And you put all these tabs up in advance. You pre-plan your year. And I've been telling people this for years, like to do that. So I'm kind of inspired by that. But I just know most people wake up and next year they complain their year didn't go how they wanted. They didn't go to the conferences they wanted. They didn't get the music concerts they wanted. They didn't do a lot of stuff they wanted to do. Right? I just crossed off my bucket list that I had since 2020 was to go to Blue Note Jazz Festival in New York City. And I had been wanting to go there since 2020. And I got there and I was like, oh, okay. Food's not that great. It's different. But I had been pining to go to this place for so many years because of COVID, New York. And you had to show you had vaccine card. I'm like, I'm not doing all that mess. And so finally I had this opportunity to go and I went. It was different for sure. But I just want you guys to be able to live your life and look back and be full of memories and not go, oh my God, it cost me $1,000 to go there. And it just wrecked my whole month. I hear people say that all the time. Erica, I spent $1,000 and I gave this guy $1,500 and I haven't been able to financially recover. And I really want to tell him, stop the phone call. Go get your ass in your car and go Uber for the rest of the weekend and make your 1,000 back so you can stop using that as the excuse why you don't have 1,000. Like, knock it off. Right? Because at the end of the day, who wants this dream? Who wants this life? Who wants this opportunity? You do. And I always tell y'all, look at school teachers. School teachers complain every year they don't make enough money and they only work 9 months out of the year. And then they'll spend the summer and all summer long, Miss Ricky teacher is at the beach living her best life. And you're like, how you get there, girl? They work a part-time job. They drive an Uber. They put their money together. They go find the money to go live a hot girl summer for that to deal with them little bad kids when they get back. So when people tell me, oh my God, I don't know. I can't find the money. I can't, like, you can find it. You just have to get creative. So anyways, you guys, this is your girl, Erica from Classic On Blog. Thank you so much for your time. I know this one went a little long. I appreciate all of you. Have a good evening and let's get to it. Let's just get to it later. You've probably been seeing these commercials for Middleman to Millions course. What is Middleman to Millions? We're teaching so many people how to have service businesses. The upcoming year, one of the fastest growing businesses you will see are service businesses and digital businesses. Why is that? Because so many things need repairs, need maintenance. And guess what? We have a shortage of men and also women who could do things. Listen, I'm not the best with a hammer, but I know I can gather a crew of people to get things done. And that's what I've done with 2 of my service businesses. And that's what I'll be teaching if you check us out in the Middleman to Millions course. And look forward to us on the road with Digital Liberty Tour 2024. It's Erica Williams.